Hello, I'm Otto, and welcome to episode 8 of my Factorio quality playthrough. So in the last episode, we set up some engine units and some electric engine units, and those are, well, one of them is on the bus, and the other one is just kind of doing a loop around, which is, it's being limited, and is this actually working? It is just stalled because of the quality on the bus. That's fine. We're going to be taking care of that in probably the next couple of episodes. So, I said I was going to set up some extra power, and I did. So I did tap this coal down here and made some extra power here. This is set up for red belts, and I don't have red belts yet. We're just using yellow belts. And this is probably not, there's not enough miners here to fill red belts anyways, but whatever, it is what it is. I also tapped this stone down here. Now, I got to be careful with the stone because we do have some biter nests, probably some biter nests that are piling up down here. I don't really know for sure. Biter expansion is turned on, but we do have some of these spawn blocked, which is nice. And eventually I'm probably going to have to beef up these walls, add in a couple more than just, a turret every now and then. Like, I mean, obviously I have a small gap there. That's not that big of a deal, but yeah, so I did tap this. This does have quality modules, and I dragged 2 lines of it all the way over here just so that we could have some concrete. And I could have put it over here, but the problem with that is that we also need iron ore, so I kind of wanted to have it closer to the iron ore, so that's what we're going to do. So I am going to... Now, okay, and another thing, we need to be a little cautious with this because we have multiple items. Similar to the steel, we need to have something set up kind of like this, where we have quality filters for all of our inserters. And the reason for that is because stone brick requires 2 stones, so we don't want it to just grab anything. We want to make sure that it's grabbing exactly what it wants, or kind of to a little bit of a ratio. So anyways, we are going to have a belt come around. Is this where I want it? Actually, yes, it is. So we're going to have 2 belts come in. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to copy... Do I want to copy this one? Let's see how this plays out. Vertically flip. I definitely don't want the coal or the stone to be going anywhere right now, so let's just cut this off for a second. Like that. Okay, I think that is how I want to set this up. How many was this? 30, 48? Okay, 48 is way too many smelters, but you know what? Or furnaces, but that's okay. We won't necessarily need to... Like, we're only going to be making a full belt worth of... Actually, let me just cut all this off. So we're only going to be making a full belt worth anyways. I'm going to grab all of the incoming ones. And we're going to end up looping this back into itself, similar to what we did with the iron plates. And then whatever stone brick we have coming out can come on and merge. And then as for the stone, we're just going to do the same thing in the opposite direction. Something like that. Okay, so that is going to be our stone brick. Let's get this connected. Oh, another thing that I did. So I did say that I was going to make some solar panels and tap some uranium ore. So I did unlock uranium here. So now we have the ability to make this. Unfortunately, we need some concrete to be able to make the centrifuges. So once we get some concrete going, I'll end up making some of those and kind of start the process of collecting some of the uranium 238 or 235 that we need, the good ones. And we can eventually get to some nuclear power. So like I said, I did double it up. So I'm actually going to enable the bots soon. And that's kind of the biggest struggle that I had was when am I going to, not struggle, but I was like, when am I going to be able to get the bots in here? And the answer is basically like when I have enough power, and now we have enough power, so now I can start to get the bots to start placing all of the roboports. And I mean, the roboports aren't going to like all go down at the same time anyways, because we are very much restricted by the amount of red circuits that we're making. Like this thing needs 6 per second. These guys are making like nothing per second, 0.12 per second for 6 of these. So it's not going to be a very speedy process. So I'm not too concerned with the power drainage from adding too many roboports too fast. It'll be, you know, a little bit of a burst with these 10 and whatever are in the bank, 2 more. But I will start that process very soon. So now one of the hard parts is we have to bring in some ore. And we're also keeping in mind that we are going to have to wrap a bus around here at some point. So this is our bus. And eventually this thing is going to have to come up through here and loop back into itself. I think it might be a good idea to go ahead and try to figure out how we're going to do that, because the earlier we get this kind of reconnected into itself, the better, or the better off we'll be for trying to figure some of this stuff out. So I don't want to be going underground for all of these belts. I'd rather underground this one belt. So this one. Like that. I'm fine with all of these going underground. Like, that's not that big of a deal. As long as it can actually make the trip. Okay, so this is going to be a lot easier than I thought it would. And when we're dealing with the reconnects, like I want to have the main bus be priority. So these are all going to be input priority for whatever's coming back through. That way we can try to get to the point where we can start using some of that quality. The stuff that didn't make it through in the first pass, let's say. Or even just the normal quality. Like maybe we get backed up on, you know, the non-quality. Like this will still kind of help that process and help us, like, you know, reintroduce the stuff that didn't get used back in. So this is gonna go bye-bye. Oh yeah, this is okay. That was a lot easier than I thought it was gonna be. So this is not even that big of a deal. We will have maybe a little bit of problems with these two, the stone brick that we have coming out over here and the eventual concrete. We're just gonna, so we're gonna have the stone brick be back here and the concrete be back here. That way that, like, if we needed more of one or more of the other, we can always kind of push one back this way or push this one up this way. It's not really a perfect science, you know, we're limited to like having these cliffs in our way. So anyways, now getting this lane back up in through here, I'm gonna have to, I think I said this before, I'm gonna have to like rearrange some of these pipes. That is not a big deal. I'm gonna have to rearrange some of this. also not a big deal. I can just take all of this and just do undergrounds for the 2. And I was kind of looking at it, and check this out. I swear this did not happen on purpose. This was a complete accident, complete fluke. So this is our top lane for whatever we end up putting there. It actually lines up just, oh man, like you couldn't have even asked. Like, I mean, sure, we could have like had it go through like this, but just the fact that it misses by, you know, nothing is pretty sweet. Yeah, but we'll get all this figured out later. I don't know if we had the same... Are we missing... Okay, we are dodging this smelting area down here, so that everything's working out. Not necessarily as intended, but because I didn't plan it out this way, but yeah. Alright, so let's get some copper connected. Nope. I mean, the copper is just going to be the same thing. I can do all this later. Yeah, and I don't want to use the extra belts, but... Okay, good. So we know all of this is going to work out. Alright, and I'll come back to that. Okay, so let's get to concrete, because concrete's going to be a little bit more interesting. Why? Because we need... So not only do we need the stone brick, but we also need iron ore. So that's going to cause a little bit of problems. And we're going to end up just dragging down some of this iron ore here. So let's say that we... Because I do want to have this potentially be expandable. So let's just drag both of these down. And then at some point, wherever, let's just say, I don't know, here-ish. Let's just say, you know what? Okay, this is a good enough point. We're gonna... Nope. Abort. We're gonna take this and drag it off. I might have wanted a little bit earlier than that, but that's okay. Let's, I don't think I want to invade the copper, so we're gonna have to do this somewhere over here. Alright. I guess I could have gone behind... Anyways. Okay, so what do we need for concrete? No. I want both of these to be coming in from the same side, so I am going to back this up. I'm just going to leave that for now. I'll take care of it later. Let's... Yeah, let's do it like this. Okay, so this is our copper, and we need... Let's just do... something like this. Like that. Okay. So then we can have water coming in through here. Really, guys? So the reason why I want both of these coming in from the same side, so we're going to have... this coming in through here. Like this. So I'm going to want this at some point to wrap back around. We don't necessarily know how far. I want both of these to wrap back around. So let's get this one first. So we're going to have long hand inserters bringing this in. And the same here, we will want this coming in like this. There. Okay, I mean, it doesn't really, okay. This is the only side that's coming in from, let's say, the same side. This is going to be a priority input left, which, you know, keeps it moving, which is nice. And then we will output on this line. Do I want to hop all of this, or do I want to continue on past this? Let's just bring it down to here. And we're not going to need a lot of concrete, but, you know, we'll get enough. So this is going to be legendary because we're going to be prepping for future content. No, sorry, future upgrades. Let's put it that way. This is going to be green quality concrete. This is going to be epic. And 3 greens. Okay, so these are going to need to output onto this line. These are going to input from this line. I know I normally do the long hand inserters the other way. I do the long hand inserters in the middle of the machine, but whatever. This is perfectly fine. Do I want to use... I do. Oh, so close. Good enough for me. Now I just need some undergrounds. Good thing I totally brought enough, right? Okay, so we just need to get this connected. Hopefully we have enough belts here. We do. Excuse me. Oh, you know what we didn't do? We didn't filter these. Oh, yeah, we did. Okay. Whew. Perfect. I actually want to go ahead and filter these for legendary. So I want to filter this for... Sorry, for the future. So let's do... This one is purple. Like that. Now, obviously, these first ones are not going to be making things, and you know what? It is what it is. That's fine. We are preparing for the future, and that's also why I went a little bit bigger on this build. So these are going to not quite be continuously moving. You can see it's kind of close, and that's because we're not consuming all of it. Okay, so one of the last things that we need is we need water, which it looks like I totally didn't leave enough room. So where's our nearest water? Our nearest water is actually just straight back. That's, well, that's convenient. Okay, so let's get the water out here. This is going to be right in the way of those. Oh, yeah. All right. Not a big deal. Oh my, we are going through the jungle. Go gadget bots. Right, you guys can get that on the way back. This is a lot farther back than I thought it was. Okay. Now for the fun job of trying to find where I put my pumps. There they are. Nice. That's water. We won't need more than that. I think that's all the water we'll need. If not, we can always add more pumps back there. It's not a big deal. Yeah, you guys can see I cannot. Okay, so far so good. This is basically working as intended. We need to collect some more stone brick. That is fine. So speaking of collecting more stone brick, oh, really? We will need to get this back onto the bus, and that is going to happen before this section, actually. Good thing I didn't have that underground. And as far as this one here goes, at some point, when we extend this, we would expand this, we would double this up for red, so that would put us somewhere in the ballpark of here. If we expanded it again, we would just have to figure out how to make this work. We would have to drag this line somewhere in over wherever it would fit. Let's say drag it through one of these. You know, in a section like that, get it over to this section, and then just make it work. Remove one of the poles, that's fine, not a big deal. Same with these, we're gonna have to figure this out too. We need to get the stone brick and the stone, sorry, the stone brick and the concrete back onto the bus. So let's drag this down. Oh, none of this needs to be here. So this is our iron. Yeah, this is a little bit more of a problem because the stone brick is all the way down here, which would be these two lanes here. They would cut in like this. So we can either bring them down through here. Wow, why did I go all the way over with this one? We can drag them all the way down to this point, maybe. Have a difficult time turning them. Or we can just do the crossover where what'll end up being the copper and drag them south. Oh, and we'd have to do some funky stuff. All right, let's try to drag them down through here. We're just gonna have to remove all this. And hopefully remember where we left it all. Oof, I hate doing something like this. I don't know, it just makes it... It makes it feel like you did something wrong. Now, obviously, these are all going to be undergrounds. And let's see. So to get... So we need to get this one in first. That is easier said than done. Way easier said than done. Okay, so if this comes over, these need to merge. Eesh, that is not going to work. I think it would have been easier just to drag them up to the top and bring them in. Okay, so that's this line here. How am I going to merge these two together? It'd have to be something like this, but then this is going to have its own problem. Because this now needs to... Oh, wait. Now that's in the way of this. This cannot go underground like this, because then it interferes with this one here. Oh, man. Okay, Alright, so we're just gonna have to do something like this. Still not gonna work. Oh boy. Okay, so that was rough, to say the least. And, uh-oh. We have some contamination here. Let's check and see what's going on with this. That is because of this slot here. Okay. So I want to make sure that this is priority output left. Any quality iron ore. And we need to clear this lane just to be... Oh, there's nothing here anyways. Okay, so I do not remember what we had this set up as, but now this top lane here is going to be the stone brick. I think this is how we had it set up. And then this is going to be concrete. So this is now going to be re-merging back on. Whew, okay. So obviously I ran out of pipes, or I ran out of all my belts, really. Yeah. And we forgot quality modules. I don't have enough on me. Nice. Okay, so we have enough to finish this episode though, so that is good enough. We have quality modules in all of these. That's good. Okay, so I'm going to be, after the episode, I am obviously going to grab some quality modules for these guys. And you know what? I think I might actually go ahead and start cleaning some of this up. So that is going to be it for me for this episode. Now that we have concrete, I can start to make some centrifuges and maybe some other things. So I might just set some kind of a... Once I get all this hooked up, I might set up some kind of like storage just to kind of start collecting some of this, so that I can start handcrafting some of the items that we need. And yeah, so in the next episode, oh boy, we are going to try to start piecing some of this stuff together. We have a large area here that we can use to start crafting some quality items to start getting rid of some of this quality that's building up on our bus. We have blue quality, green quality, normal quality of just about everything that we're going to end up using on this planet anyways. Yeah, so we're going to do that in the next episode, hopefully. Okay, so that is it for me. I will see you in the next episode, and thanks for watching.